I was working, I think.
It's working.
We've been receiving a lot of messages. Go and get a proper camera.
I know.
A proper mic.
Yeah.
But we are lazy. Plus we don't have time, right?
I know. But I think for now this is good enough, we've been away as well. I think it's been more than 6 weeks now, since we had one of these sessions.
I'm glad we found time to.
6-7 weeks now actually. So how was your travel and everything? Yeah.
I was okay. I mean, running around a bit, business, make money, pay your bills, and eventually it is what it is, right? Yeah. This reminds me of a conversation. I went to Waitrose, and you bump into people, and sometimes people get curious and they want to know what do you do and things like that. So there was this lady. She wanted to know. So what do you do? Blah blah blah. And then basically her idea was, okay, how much do you earn? Things like that. I said, look, the thing is, I was born bankrupt. We are all born bankrupt, right? Yeah. I mean, we are born penniless. We have zero asset, and we rely on strangers to feed us, to grow us, to clothe us. And then we discover, oh wow, okay, we need to make money. So there is a real element in it as well, because you meet, and you probably have been meeting a lot of through your other program, that you meet all these business leaders to help them figure out what they want to do. And it's funny how people are so driven by money now, right? But if you look at it, it's both of us were born bankrupt.
I know. And all of us in that way, yeah. And we probably, when we go, probably not taking anything with you. So in that sense, although the world might consider you having some assets according to the world, but you actually don't take anything with you. You can't even take your body, apparently. Well, you can't really. That's the truth, it stays here. And
exactly.
It's burnt away or eaten away, So that's true. And I think, I think you make a very interesting point. And for people who come to me, there's a lot of anxiety about money. Yeah. What money means to them is what I talk to them about. Small money, big money, million, billion, we see all types. Where do you draw the line? Of course, people need resources to live, but how much is enough? And one of the things I always find fascinating with some of these people I see is I've never come across someone who really understands what money means to them. It may mean different things, but to them, I don't know, they actually look at others and think they should have X compared to them, or if someone has this, I need to have this, and if I make so much, it's good. But how is it good,
there is that, I can see why people are just driven by money, because I think the way our society is now structured, the way we've structured our society is, and we keep talking about it, is, the value that we had inside. Human beings are the one who found value for a gold. Human beings are the one who defined value for money or asset or whatever it is. But what has happened is somehow we've tricked ourselves to think that value is outside you. So the value is in the money. And the more you accumulate that, the more valuable you become. So you get the prestige, you get people wanting you, you become more famous, you become more valuable. And I think that's where, when you were talking about, comparison happens. That, oh, well, I have more value because I have more money. I have more value because I have more assets, and I can buy all of that.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where probably it comes from.
I don't know. And also, I think someone said this, it's not definitely my quote, they said you are what you think others think of you. So you're not what you think, so if you think I have this, hence I am important, I am popular, I am good, that makes me feel good. So if I have a dollar bill and you haven't seen a dollar bill in your life, you would say, what is this piece of paper? Just put it away, Because you didn't know the value, and I'm thinking, okay, there's no point in even us discussing about the pack of dollar bills I have, because that would embarrass me, because you didn't even recognize one bill. What's the point of me showing you a bag full of bills? Means nothing to you.
Exactly.
So that is what is important.
This is a good point, because I remember. If is your grandma alive or
no?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So if our grandparents were alive,
Yeah.
let's say, and we went there with, let's say, a friend or somebody who's a student, and he or she was wearing a ripped denim trouser, torn all over.
Yeah.
I mean, what our grandparents will say, right?
Yeah.
Or even what our parents will say.
Yeah.
This person is very poor. Get him something. You can afford to buy your friend a pair of trousers.
Yeah.
Buy him a pair of trousers, or buy her a pair of trousers. Because they don't see the value in that ripped trousers. For them, it's a sign of poverty. But somehow we managed to trick ourselves that no, ripped trousers are more expensive than normal trousers. And people are wearing something, going back to your point, that make no sense to our parent, will make no sense to our late grandparents, but it's making a lot of sense to them.
Yeah.
And this goes back to how we define value. I mean, value is something. It means something to somebody. So this is where sometimes I start to wonder if this is the biggest scam that we ever committed. That we managed to tell somebody that, look, I have a piece of paper. I mean, this piece of paper, yes, it started with gold backing and things like that, but today it's just a fake, right? So it's a piece of paper. You give me a piece of paper and I will give you a building. You give me a piece of paper, and you can even have sex, right?
Yeah.
You can buy pleasure, you can get your health done, you can get your clothing done, you can look smart, I can get your cosmetic surgery done. So this is the reality.
That's the reality. But I always tell people that one needs to be confident that what they're pursuing is aligned with how they value that whatever that is that they're pursuing. If they're doing it to somebody else, and if they place the value of something that they're pursuing based on someone else's perception, then that brings about a lot of misery. People feel very lonely in spite of having wealth. People feel anxious. They're worried about the future in a big way. So the way I see it is, having nothing brings misery. And having a lot also doesn't solve the misery. It actually sometimes compounds the misery, And then sometimes, we always go back to our favorite, subject of the gurus, talking about these things. And obviously they do talk about these things in a slightly different way. And, people do take away something, I guess. But I don't know if that would necessarily change their perception of money and currency and wealth and assets and bonds and other things. But like you said, I think the value is something that we miss. We can't afford to miss that, though.
Yeah, look. At the end of the day, this is again now that we are talking. I'm thinking, if you take away money from the guru, from the religion, what happens to those gurus? What happens to motivational speakers? What happens to the life coach? What happens to business coach? What happens to all of that? And what happens, most importantly, to the biggest money-making exercise, religion? Which pays no tax, which does nothing. I mean, yes, you have a faith, and I guess if money wasn't part of a religion, if money wasn't part of spirituality or well-being and things like that, then the industry will be completely different. It will be very small.
Well, then maybe when we think about money, those are some of the industries that create, or at least create perceived value to the people who are ready to part with their money.
For sure.
So there is something there. It's about how society perceives money, I suppose. And what they are willing to offer.
I guess this is what I was saying. So we've tricked ourselves. We've tricked ourselves into thinking value is outside you, so you have to chase value, and the way you chase value is, you need to become somebody who can earn money.
And so, what do you think about this concept of having money makes you secure? The insurance guys sell that story. People trust the banks to keep their money so that they can have it for a rainy day. I always hear this. What's your view on money brings security? Because that's an innate need for people to feel secure. A little child needs to feel secure in the comfort of their mother or their parents. And then school. A society, which has cameras and police, whatever, right? And cyber security, we call it these days. So money and security, does that go together? I know we talked about value. Value is one aspect of it, but can lack of money make one very insecure is another thing. Maybe we can pick up in the next video.
Yeah, I think
value,
let's
security.
do that. I think there is a lot of good points there, and there is a lot that we can discuss. That's why I think it's a good direction of travel. I think because is money. If I look at money as this, the way we design our society today, the way we design our economy, money has become a basic necessity, right? Because to fund your living, you are completely dependent on having money. And money is not a natural resource. Money is a manufactured resource. Now, the question you might want to ask is money now part of the basic human right? So then you talk about, universal basic income or something like that. But can money give you happiness? Well, some surveys you probably know say, yes, it does. Some will say, no, it doesn't.
I think to a certain level, I think maybe we're $75,000 if you look at the US data. So every country may have a certain level and up to which you may have a sense of happiness, or if you define that way. But after that, it doesn't actually add that much value, even if you have it proportionately higher. But I think value, security, money, that could be something we could talk about.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's have a chat in the next one. I think we'll just have
yeah.